Welcome to Neurology News Network. I'm Jenna Pasco. This week's edition features highlights from NeurologyLive's coverage of the American Headache Society's annual scientific meeting, which took place July 11th to the 14th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's get into the news. Orally administered atogepant, a small molecule CGRP receptor antagonist, demonstrated a statistically significant and clinically relevant reduction in mean migraine days compared with placebo, while eliciting no treatment-related serious adverse events, according to findings from a phase 2b/3 study. At the lowest dose administered, there was a 4-day reduction in mean monthly migraine days compared with a reduction of 2.85 days in the placebo group. This benefit remained consistent across the 5 doses of atogepant explored in the study. Among those who received the highest dose, there was a 4.14-day mean reduction in monthly migraine days. Treatment with etinizumab is associated with substantial improvements in HIT-6 score and migraine-related burden, according to results from the ongoing open-label PREVAIL study. The study is evaluating the long-term safety of repeat doses of 300 mg etinizumab every 3 months in patients with chronic migraine. Etinizumab, which is delivered via quarterly infusion, is currently under review by the FDA for preventative treatment of episodic and chronic migraine. In total, data were collected from 128 patients in the primary treatment phase. Mean HIT-6 total scores decreased from 65.2 at baseline to 57.1 at month 1, with reductions generally similar through months 3 through 12, all of which were significant. To gain further insight on the meeting's hot topics, NeurologyLive sat down with Dr. Steven Silberstein, past AHS president and director of the Jefferson Headache Center. In the interview, Dr. Silberstein recounted key presentations as well as the topics that generated lively debates at the meeting. Let's take a look.
This is a very interesting meeting in many ways. It opened up with actually an anatomical demonstration in a human cadaver of where the nerves and muscles were in the area of the neck, so that people who are doing either Botox injections or injections for nerve block actually had a true understanding of where and what they were injecting. So that was the beginning, and that was a little bit different. The opening plenary was very interesting because of 2 reasons. The first speaker was somebody who personally had a concussion and had a major interest in treating post-concussion headache, and from a more personal point of view, following that, we had an hour dedicated to me and the Jefferson Headache Center, and we had different people I've worked with in the past talking about how we interacted. So we had Dr. Wang from Taiwan, who was my first fellow. We talked about neuropathic intracranial hypertension without papilledema. Richard Lipton talked about how we revolutionized the classification of chronic migraine. And Dr. Young talked about the fact how we went down the path of looking for patients with migraine and all the shame that they have and what we could do to combat it. What I really enjoyed the most was the debate between Peter Goatsby and Rami Burstein about where the antibodies work, where they work in or outside the brain. And what we discovered is we're not 100% sure. We clearly know it works outside the brain, but the question is there any evidence at all that it works inside the brain as a potential mechanism of action? I think what we're seeing here is 2 or 3 major things. One, all the companies that have started investigations of the monoclonal antibodies for the treatment of episodic and chronic migraine are here. And most of the data is follow-up. Does it continue to work? Does it continue to be safe? And does it continue to any other things we need to worry about? And all the data shows that it's continued to be safe and effective for up to 4 to 5 years after treatment. The other event that occurred is this new data on the use of the Lilly monoclonal antibody, which has now been FDA approved for the treatment of cluster headache.
For more direct access to expert insight and conference updates, head to neurologylive.com. This has been Neurology News Network. Thanks for watching.